Hi, my name is Jessica. I make videos on my student loan progress and more specifically on my journey to being debt-free. And today I thought that I would take a moment to talk about side hustles and grad school and what my next steps are regarding those topics. First, I want to talk about grad school and my decision of if I'm going soon or if not, when that might be. I know that going straight to grad school is a great way to put undergraduate loans into deferment and not have to worry about paying them supposedly until you make more money and are able to pay them off more easily. However, especially in the psychology field, I just graduated with my BS in psychology. That's not always the case. It's not always the case in helping professions in general. We're often underpaid, and I'm well aware of that. But for me, I feel like it's my calling and it's what I want to do. It's what I'm passionate about. But I don't want to be irresponsible about it, and I don't want to pursue a graduate degree without knowing for a fact that I will have a job that will pay enough to make those overall loan payments for undergrad and graduate school. And I think that puts a lot of pressure on your future self in order to make that happen, because especially for those of us in this field, it's really difficult to find a job that will help you easily pay off all of those loans once you get your graduate degree. I also have various interests within the field, and I'm not exactly sure where I want to go after this. I've always gravitated towards school psychology. For me, it's the perfect mix between psychology and that clinical aspect, that one-to-one face-to-face counseling, but also more of the behind the scenes and being able to affect policy and draft things that can actually improve students' lives on the day-to-day basis. I would love to be that person that is a part of IEP meetings that can really make parents be heard and make that difference in a student's life. But also just school counseling is interesting to me. And also I'm currently in the ABA field, and who knows, I might end up pursuing my BCBA and my master's in ABA. I'm not completely sure where I want to go at this point. It all depends on how things go with my company and who has the cheaper program and just general incentives and what I ultimately end up feeling called to do. And I don't want to pigeonhole myself right now as I just came out of undergrad. I know that a lot of people do know exactly what they want to do, but in terms of having the best outcome for cost and salary after graduating, I'm just not sure if I feel educated enough to make that decision. And most importantly, if I have to take out even more astronomical loans to pay for it, I have come to realize, and that means I can't afford it. It's not like it's a house, it's an education, and if I can't work and save up for a few years in order to be able to put myself through grad school, then I can't afford it, and that's okay. And I've come to terms with the fact that it's okay to wait and it's okay to earn things. I am very, very used to not having as much as everyone else. I'm very used to saving in college and not getting to go out and have fun all of the time. So it's really nothing for me to wait, and I hope that everyone else feels like it's okay to wait and isn't pushing themselves way too far. So if you're looking for a sign of whether or not to go, whether or not you're ready to go, whether that was you knew what you wanted to do, you had the money to do it, just be okay if you wait. It's gonna be okay. And if you know that you're making the right decision for you, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. So ultimately, I am not doing this student loan thing again. I'm not gonna do it. So that brings me to talking about how I plan on paying for my current student loans, how I pay for my living situation, and how I plan on paying for grad school out of pocket eventually. I see a lot of people around the interwebs talking about side hustles and recommending to have a side hustle where you can work from home or you're a hired contractor. And my only issue with that is taxes. And these YouTubers and bloggers are very transparent. They say, oh, you'll probably want to, I mean, at least in California, you'll want to save like 10 to 15% of that for your taxes when you eventually file. But for someone who's trying to get out of debt and trying to budget, that time and stress of doing that doesn't make sense to me. Your time is valuable, and so I can agree with those people saying, you know, your time is valuable, so you should be able to work from home. Your time is valuable, so you should, in my opinion, do what reduces the most amount of stress given your current stressful situation. So doing the rover dog walking or trying to start your own business, to me, is just not the easiest solution. I think that just finding a comfortable job that pays well, I mean, you don't want to have your side hustle be working minimum wage. That is not worth your time. But if you can find something that will pay over minimum wage or hopefully close to what you're making at your main job, and I think that's awesome. Currently, I'm looking more into like a retail sort of thing. I've had several years of customer service experience, specifically working in food. And for me personally, I don't want to go back to that. Not only does it not pay super well, but just being on your feet and everything, it's just not the environment that I want to be in. But since I have so much customer service experience, I'm looking to do like something more retail. I'm also looking to do something more like rote manual, rote cognitive, to take the physical and mental stress off of me, since my main job is so demanding and requires a high level of focus for hours on end. So that's what I'm currently looking into as a second job in order to help pay for things. Even just 10, 15 hours a week would easily like double my student loan payments. I think I calculated it at like, even if I was making like $13.50 an hour, which I could probably get more than that given all my experience. Yeah, so I'm looking into that, and I'm not super concerned because I'm able to make my payments right now. But when it happens, it'll happen. And especially going into the holiday season, I'm pretty hopeful that I'll be able to get at least something going to help me out. So ultimately, if you're working around this amount I am, around like 30-31 hours a week, then look into seasonal jobs right now to try to make a little extra money, rely on your skills and what you can use to have an easier time at work, like a lower stress environment, while still making decent money in order to supplement your income, is what I would say. And in addition, things like Rover, I think can be kind of sketchy. Anything where you are meeting strangers or staying in their house or having them come to yours, unless this is just me coming from the perspective of a young woman, freaks me out a little bit. So, so to be safer, to reduce stress, and to just make the entire second job process easier, I would recommend being an actual employee somewhere. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a bit more of a boring topic, but I hope it may have answered some of the questions you may have had. And feel free to always ask me any questions. My social media is linked below, and you can also comment, of course. So stick around. I'm going to be coming up with a October recap type of video with an update on my student loan progress, as well as a November budget video. So see you soon. Thanks. Bye.